last few videos, we went over the number type and the string type. In this video, we're going to talk about the Boolean type. So to get started, I'm going to declare a Boolean, A equal. But before I start, probably wondering, like, what is a Boolean? A Boolean is basically either a true or false value, right or wrong, yes or no, 1 or 0. And it could only be one of two values. So in programming, it could either be true. I'm going to declare A true, or false. Create another variable and assign it false. So I have an index.html. So I'm going to open up live server because I want to log this to the console. So I'm going to open up the console, inspect. And what I want to do, I want to take this and kind of like put it next to my Visual Studio Code editor. So it could be side by side. So I'm going to log both values to the console. A, B. And what do we have? We have true and false. So another thing to note about Booleans. So for instance, if it's in double quotes, so if you have A equals true, double quoted, B equals false, double quoted, this is not a Boolean. These are strings. So if you see these are just string types. These are not Boolean types. Booleans can have to strictly be of text, true or false. They cannot be of string type. But when it comes to Booleans, we can't do arithmetic with it, like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. For Booleans, it's about special operators for like such as ampersands or the double pipe characters. Now, Booleans are used to evaluate whether a condition is true or false. So in future videos, we're going to learn a little bit more about conditional programming. But for now, we're going to focus on working with Booleans, ampersands, and the double pipe. So when it comes to special operators, it comes to evaluating whether the expression is true or not. So since we have an A, so if you see it evaluates to false. So if we look at true and then we look at false. So in ampersand, both conditions have to be true for the whole expression to be true. So A is true and B is false. So this whole expression evaluates to false. But say if I were to change this to true, this whole expression now has been evaluated to true. Now say if I use a double pipe character. Now with a double pipe character, it stands for or. So with the special operators and the double ampersands, it was and. So both had to be true. So A had to be true and B had to be true. With the double pipe character is either or. Either A is true or B is true. If one is false, it doesn't matter. As long as one is true, it evaluates it. The whole expression is evaluated to true. So if I save it, you see it evaluates to true because it looks at A, which is true, stops right there and just evaluates it to true. It doesn't even continue with the rest of the calculation. So say if I were to make this false. So it looks at this and it still keeps it false because it looks at this first one and it's false. And then it skips that and says, is this true? And this is true. So this whole expression is evaluated to true. But if I do false, this whole expression is evaluated to false because it looked at this and said, hey, is this true? It's not, it's false. Or is this true? It's not, it's false. So the whole expression is evaluated to false. Now, what if I use an ampersand for both of them false? Let's see what happens. It's true. It's false because this evaluated to false. It saw that and it just cut it out because both have to be true. If both are not true, it's automatically false. And with or, one has to be true and the whole expression evaluates to true. Now, when it comes to Booleans, it also respects order of operations. So say if I were to put this in parentheses, and then I had a double pipe character, and let's create another variable called C, and we'll call this true. And then I'm gonna put C right here. Now, what do you think this expression is gonna evaluate to? So if we have A and B, which is false, this evaluates to what? And or C. So let's save it and see what happens. It evaluates to true. And let's go through it piece by piece. We have A and B, A and B. So A is false. So that's false. A and B. Let me put this up here. So A and B is false since we're using an ampersand and both have to be true. Once it gets here, it evaluates this to false. The whole expression is false. So if we go down here, we have a false expression. That's also going to be evaluated using the or, the double pipe characters, and C. Now, C is true. Now, with or, if you remember, one value has to be true in order for the whole expression to be true. So this is false. A and B is false. Or is C is true, makes this whole expression true. So that's how we have got to true in the console. Now, say if I had an ampersand, right? What would that evaluate to? A and B is false, and C. It evaluates to false because remember, with an ampersand, both values have to be true in order for the whole expression to be true.